I can start with back in 2014, around the end of 2014 in November, I was invited to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, which was Metro Atlanta. I don't know if you've heard this story before. This is when I was introduced to transhumanism. I didn't realize it. I thought it was just a regular Chamber of Commerce meeting. But this one, you had to have referrals and get background checks. And so I was approved. And so they actually bussed us all in. We couldn't drive. Our cell phones were jammed, and it was a very unusual meeting. And when I was inside at my table, the people there asked me what I did for a living. I said, a physician. And they said, oh, we don't need you. Our bodies will change. And I thought that was very strange. But I ignored it. And then the people there were much bigger than me. They were from big corporations, CNN, Delta, Georgia Tech. So then fast forward going to the main event, which was the speaking engagement about what to do for Metro Atlanta, because they claim, the people there, that this was interesting or an interest to the business owners there, because they were having problems getting new companies from other countries because of three reasons: racism, not amenable to new cultures, and the people needed to have better education. They weren't very smart. This is what they said. So they claim that they had a way to improve on two of the three very quickly, and this would make the society healthier. And so this is when the main speaker got up and said, we have new technology that will launch, and this is going to be something that can be remotely monitored in all the people's bodies. So this is what they described to us. I'll give you the example they gave us. So he said, imagine two people are talking on the phone, and one person, let's say Susie and Brenda asked Susie, where are you? You're late. You're supposed to be here meeting me for dinner. And Susie goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm working out in the gym. Well, the phone would instantly know she's lying, because lying is the parameter that was selected for Metro Atlanta, because there are biosensors inside of her body in real time monitoring back to the health app in the smartphone that she has. The smartphone would pick up she's lying by voice inflection, by the sweat glands on her skin, which is a polygraph test on par with the police station. Also know by GPS that she's at the bar, not at, working out in the gym. Also know that her blood alcohol content is high, what drug she's taking, what lot that is, and what batch it comes from. Also knows if she's fertile, or all kinds of different things. I mean, the list is huge. So the phone instantly knows she's lying. And the person said that an instant repercussion would go back to the woman lying. And any lie is the same. So a lie about where you are is the same about a lie about stealing about something. There is no human involved in this. So they told us there that the person would be given a shock. The word shock was used. We did gasp in the audience, and the person that was speaking said, oh, I guess you don't like the word shock. Well, I'll use the word buzz. Do you like that better? Is that more palatable? And I don't know what shock meant, because they didn't elaborate, but we can say maybe it's electrical, maybe it's something that a payload was being released, a hormone, a chemical, who knows. But anyway, an instant repercussion. Then also after about 2 or 3 months, all the lies would be added up for this lady. And then if she had too many lies based on the algorithm, then a negative social credit score would be enacted on her. She wouldn't get a good job, good education, different things like that. So the point of this that I'm telling you, there's a standing ovation in the room. I was horrified. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was new to the group. They had already heard of things like this. And I said to the people at my table, how could you stand for this? This goes against God and humanity. And they said, well, you can't stop me, or anyone else can stop what is about to happen around the world. Maybe you want to run off to somewhere outside the big cities, but you can't fight it. You'll come running back to us. And I said, never. I said, and don't you know that you're not going to be different than anybody else? It's going to be implemented on you too. This is, an ultimate of enslavement. You can't think, freely. You can't act freely. What is this? So the point is, the plan is to augment all of us humans without our consent, really, with synthetic technology, and not to use it for the betterment of us. This is important to know, because technology can be used for good or bad. I'm not against technology, but I am against the intention behind it, about the deceit and lies behind it, because it's about to oppress and manipulate others without their consent. And so this is, and so one of the main hydrogel is the mother of substances. It can be modified or changed into different types. Some are nanolipid particles, and that could be through these shots they falsely call vaccine. COVID shots is a big payload. They could also put it through different medicines, the chemtrails, the water, the foods, etc. But the main issue is to get enough inside the human body, and who knows what that amount is. We don't quite know what that is, before it can be fully operational, where there's a message going in and out of the human body, right? So always spying on us through all different methods. And there's a drop down on the health app that people can look at. But then also using that data really against us, and to want to modify the human body. So that's augmenting, modifying. So people can choose to do that. If you're an adult, that's your choice. But I'm being the whistleblower for those that are not consenting, for me and for all the others without a voice, and to warn others to be aware of this, and to be watchful of this, because all the countries have agreed to some mandates, executive orders, things like that, about the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, about hooking the human body up to the database. That's why they're building data centers everywhere. And one of the super brain data centers is Memphis, Tennessee. So that is fed back into this kind of Borg, I'd say. Now, on top of that, there are plans to do something called a JADC2, JADC, the number 2. So if you look that up, the Department of Defense has talked about that. That's actually kind of like analogous to Skynet from Terminator. So that's actually taking all this data, right, and blurring the lines of what is one category or another, or what is one jurisdiction versus another. So meaning all the branches of the military now blurred, police stations. It's blending air, sea, land, under the ground, under the sea, space, all in one. Media, social media, everything's blended. This is crazy. So obviously not one human is behind this. This is called autonomous AI. I mean, this, I know it sounds crazy, but you don't believe me. I want people to look this stuff up for themselves. So they also talked about, if you read up on it, an AI assisted shooter and autonomous drones. So what this means is that based on the data collected, so, okay, let me give you the example. So the people that are lying, like these crazy things, right? Where their location is. Maybe this autonomous actually start to do something more deleterious to that person. Sorry about that. I don't know which part I left off. It just kicked me off.
Well, I expect that. It caught you before when you were saying something about COVID, and then it caught you again when you said the people that are lying. And I expect that. Yeah.
Well, especially when I start talking about this more and more. Well, this is what we're talking about, right? All censorship and monitoring through Palantir.
Well, they don't want me meeting you at all because they've tried to shut this podcast down 4 times. So,
yes. So the whole point is warning people about what's going on around the world. So let me just say this to people. So whatever we see in the media, the news right now, we got Epstein out there, and what else out there? We got some drug cartels being brought down in Mexico. Do we really think that that's what's going on? I mean, okay, there's some things going on with that, but whenever you see whatever's on the media, know that something else is really going on that we need to pay attention to. In my opinion, what we really need to pay attention to is each month goes by, each day goes by, more and more of this AI infrastructure is being put in everywhere, not just our country, but around the world. There's a worldwide movement for this. And that's my real warning to people, is to wake up to that is the issue, that we don't need to fight amongst each other. We need to be aware of that. Just being aware breaks the spell. Just being aware gives us power, because we, organic human beings, truly have the power here, the authority, dominion, etc. We have the voice, okay? But if we are apathetic and we turn our heads and we do nothing, well, then we're just consenting to this insanity that's about to take place. It really hasn't yet. We have a choice. We have a chance to stop something, what I feel is really terrible, from happening to humanity. We're at a crossroads right now. So it's warning people about the infrastructure that is being put in, that I was told. I was there as an eyewitness. I was there myself. This is not just me looking at research and telling you something. It's not just me hearing. It's secondhand. That's what gives me passion to speak out. I've been around these people. I know how people think, or how people go along with the plan. I was there for Dr. Craig Ventnor with one of his keynote speeches at a conference in Vegas, where he talked about these kinds of technologies and how they could implement them on humanity using synthetic biology too. Okay, melding the human body, the organic human body, with synthetic technology. And again, I'm not here to tell any one person what they should do with their body. That's their choice. But that's not what's happening here. It is, these things are being implemented without the consent of us, humanity. And I want people to be aware of that. And that's my warning call out there. And I do go through ways that this is happening, as well as the solution is really being human, is saying no and staying human. And that's how our bodies can heal miraculously. That's how we can turn the tide here, because we come from a creator that created all. And we are spirit in a flesh body and a physical body. Once we get that we are spirit and a soul inside this body, and we become confident and we take authority of the words we say and how we say them, and the way we do these things, I mean, it's game over for AI. Our heart creates an energy. Heart Math Institute talks about this, that is the most powerful organ in our body. And it actually, in a state of true love, unconditional love, joy, true joy, it actually emits in a field around us at least 6 feet. And someone who's really prayerful or meditating, they can emit a field much more powerful or longer than that. And it's so powerful they can't measure it with their instruments currently. So imagine 12 of us getting together like that. That's a plasma field that's put out. And love is the most powerful frequency. To me, that